row.
Good job.
Okay, there's some sound going there. Now let's get sound going out of this side. Maybe, possibly. Right? Let's see. Well, oh, no wonder that one's not working. I didn't do the right thing. Hold on, let's put it on the right thing. There we go. Okay. Now, hey! Didn't see you there. You didn't hear me either there for a minute. But it's about that time again. It's Tournament of Champions time. I know you're excited. So it is episode 226 technically, because this is semifinal one of that Tournament of Champions. This is June 3rd of 2024. And we're going to do this thing live, just like we always do, because it's the only way we know how to do it. So, Travis, are you ready?
On Tuesday, May 9th.
Fantastic. So, we'll get this thing started here in 3, 2, 1.
Yes, Monopoly! The world's most popular board game is now Monopoly the TV game. Here come the players. The red player, Jason, the gold player, Scott, and the green player, Brandon. Here comes guest Mr. Monopoly host with Positive, and here comes our host, Jason.
Yay! And things. I'm going to, here, watch this. I have to clap because Jason's not doing it for me. There it is. Hey everybody there, welcome back once again to Monopoly. Man, we have had one hell of a season here, season 2. It has been a great season. I would say just as good, if not even better than season 1. And man, we have made it to our Tournament of Champions. So it is that time. Our number 1 overall seed, and that would be Kyle Hershon. He was not able to be here tonight. So his group, which will consist of himself, John Bergman, and Dave Standish, they were not able to make it tonight. So they, the way we've got it set up, and the plan is that they will be playing in the June 17th matchup. And then next week, you will see Scott Michaels, who is our number 3 seed, himself, Travis Coulter, and Peach Bunkcakes will be playing in next Monday night's semifinal matchup. But we start off first here tonight with this matchup, and we're going to go over first and meet our number 2 overall seed. He finished the season with $85,946. Please welcome back to the Monopoly stage, Jason Quantavious Meyers. Hey. So yeah, Jason. Hey. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey. So yes, number 2 overall seed. You had a very interesting start to the season. Didn't really pick up a lot of cash early on, but then man, you went on a tear later on in the season and got yourself where you are now. Wound up number 2 overall. How does it feel being back in the Tournament of Champions again?
Well, when you kept saying that I'm on the outside looking in, and then everybody was like, I'll play. I'm just sitting there like, all right, I guess I ain't getting in this year. And then things happened. Hi.
Hey, well, this is true. Things did happen, and you got yourself in, and you were able to do enough, like I said, to get that number 2 seed. Do you feel that it's an advantage to you to have been able to have some say, at least, in who you were going to get to face in the TOC?
If by advantage you mean just because I was Mr. Monopoly for the majority of the season, no. If by advantage you mean anything else, then sure.
Well, hey, at this point in the year, of course, you and the season, you want to be able to take any advantages that you can get. So, if you would, kind sir, go ahead and remind everybody where you're from, what you do for a living, and why should macaroni and cheese be reclassified as a vegetable?
I'm a meat cutter by day, overall nutcase by night. Currently, western New Orleans, Louisiana. And the reason why mac and cheese should be a vegetable is because there's either that or it was pastaroni. Which would you rather?
I'm assuming at this point by saying that you're looking for a fight. So I'm not going to give it to you because mac and cheese belongs as a vegetable, and that's what I'm sticking with. So, So best of luck to you here.
That was the two options. We went with the better one.
Well, and that's all we can do is to go with the better one. Unfortunately, in this case, you're not able to be Mr. Monopoly tonight. We had to go with the second choice, which was Jose Cazarez, and that's not even a second option. But we'll talk about that another time. So, yeah. And matter of fact, as my wife said from the couch, she said, that's the last option. So, please send any letters care of Aaron Montgomery, MVG Productions. But with that, Jason, we wish you the best of luck tonight, as you are going to have your work absolutely cut out for you, because as we go over into the gold position, you, of course, chose this person as one of the people you would go up against. They were the number 7 overall seed. Finished with $42,642, but they are a newbie to this year's Tournament of Champions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Scott Sephy McVay.
Well, hi there. How's it going tonight, Turb?
You know, it is going south, hopefully not too quickly. But yeah, so Sephy, this is your first time being in the Monopoly Tournament of Champions. Of course, as I was looking back, last year, I guess, I don't know if it was one of those to where you just maybe when you joined the group, whenever we had Monopoly going on, maybe if you just weren't really with us yet or just didn't get an opportunity to play. But from what I'm showing, you didn't even get to play with us last season. So I know it's got to feel pretty good making into the TOC this year.
I think so too, though. Actually, I'm surprised that I actually made it this far after all the after everything that happened. And I'll tell you right now, I have good opponents here, both Mr. Myers and Mr. Scruggs on both sides of me. How about that?
Well, hey, I can say that this is probably the matchup I'm most looking forward to, and all three matchups are good, solid matchups, but there's just something about this one from one side to the other that's just powerhouse after powerhouse after powerhouse. So you're definitely one of those. I know you seem to find your way into a lot of TOCs and championship games here in MVG. So what do you think it is about yourself that stands out that would lead you to make it into the championship game?
Probably a good knowledge of the trivia that is asked here in a lot of, not just this show, but a lot of other shows that has actually gotten me into quite a few of those TOCs, as you mentioned there as well.
Well, and hey, that will definitely hopefully come in handy for you tonight. So if you would, go ahead and remind our audience out there where you're from, what you do for a living, and mashed potatoes, fad or folly?
Well, first of all, I am from Hays, Kansas, and I work as a cashier at a hardware store chain that's well known around the country. And as for mashed potatoes, not just fad or just folly, but also a necessity, a way of life.
Okay, well, you know, everybody's got their opinion. So, but hey, we wish you the best of luck here tonight in this matchup. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to give it up there for Scott McVay, and best of luck to you. And finally, we go over into our green podium. He is our number 8 overall seed here. He had a total during the season of $38,085 overall. Please welcome to the stage the man that signs my paychecks and sometimes takes me into ISO, although he normally promises me I'm not going to be in trouble, is Brandon Scruggs.
What's going on, everybody?
So they call you the king of MVG, the face that runs the place. The question is your face going to be the one that's in the place of the championship game?
I'm going to hope so, but if I had my way here, this is probably the hardest one to beat. But again, I've always been a guy who will accept the challenge from just about anybody. So I know I'm probably at a disadvantage coming into this game, but you know what? It will make the victory that much sweeter, provided I can actually pull it off here.
Well, and I actually know what I was about to ask it already, but so matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and get to if you'll remind everybody, they've heard it from you a lot, seeing as how you run the channel, but if you'll remind everybody where you're from, what it is you do for a living, and why on God's green earth has this been one of the few game shows we've never seen you host?
Well, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name's Brandon. I'm from a little town called Silva in western North Carolina. I am a casino dealer by night, avid sleeper by day. When I'm not doing one of those two things, I like to host game shows. I like singing karaoke. I like board games, and I enjoy wrestling, as I've been in the independent wrestling scene as a ring announcer, commentator, referee, all-around hands-on guy, except for the guy who actually does the wrestling for the better part of the last 15 years or so now. So, yeah, that's basically it. And as for why I've never hosted Monopoly, I'll put it this way. It's on my to-do list, just never got around to it because there were other things that I kind of wanted to do first and I was having fun with. So that's probably why.
I'm just glad you didn't give it the go treatment, to be honest. So I'm happy with that answer.
No, this game will frustrate me at times, but nowhere near the levels that Go does.
Well, that's another one of those that's a healthy debate between us. But hey, we all have our likes, we all have our dislikes. So I do want to also give you an opportunity, because you are the face that runs the place. What can our viewers out there expect to see coming from you in the not too distant future that's not currently already showing on air? Maybe a little taste.
Well, as you know, being that we are now in the month of June, we are less than a month away from the 2024 Game Show Marathon, which will kick off on July 1st, right here on the channel. And that whole week, as you know, 10 contestants competing and for a chance to call themselves Game Show Marathon Champion. Again, those episodes will air starting at 6 o'clock every day for the entire week, as we'll put all of our normal shows here on hold at that time. Besides that, we're getting ready to wrap up Jeopardy here in just a few short weeks. We are just about at the point now of the Tournament of Champions getting ready to air very soon. High Rollers is going right now, and let's put it this way: the future here on the channel, let's just say that we have a lot of cards being shuffled around to bring a good lineup coming your way. So, hint, hint for you guys out there.
Hint, hint. Yes, but, you know, as always, we're going to wish you the best of luck, and thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, those are our contestants.
Good luck, guys.
All right, and as always, as we get into our gameplay here tonight, I'll start off saying thank you very much to our loyal viewers out there that are here to once again watch. I'm pretty sure that there are some of you out there that are watching tonight, the Tonys and the Mutzers of the world, that you've been here to see each and every episode this season. And if I'm missing you, I'm sure I'll catch you along the way. But as always, thank you very much for making sure to come out and watch and support us throughout this season. It is definitely welcomed. All right, just making sure the audio is still good there, because I saw somebody said it, but that must have been earlier. So, all right, with that being said, let's do this thing here. Of course, we start with the acquisition phase of our game. If you are new to this show, where the hell have you been? Seriously, this has been going on for a while now. But other than that, let me tell you a little bit about how this round works. Of course, we're going to make one full trip around the board. We're going to stop at each individual property. As we are at each of those properties, we're going to ask a trivia question. Just like Sephy mentioned earlier, that's right, we ask trivia questions. We don't say, hey, can you think of a number? And even if it wasn't the number I thought of, I'll still tell you that you're right. Odd, even, flip a coin. What color does my poop smell like? No, we don't do that kind of stuff here. And I don't care how much Sephy decides to cry tonight, we will not go back and tell him his answer is right later. Unlike some other people. But we will ask that trivia question. If they get that trivia question correct, we will give them the dollar amount that you see at the bottom of that property. They get it wrong, however, they're going to lose that dollar amount from their total. If no one can get the question correct, then we will cut the value in half until someone eventually does get it right, and then we'll move on to the next property. Once we make it through the entire color group, then if someone owns all the properties, they're going to get a special little bonus added on to them, as well as we will turn that property their color. If multiple people own it, we will go into a showdown round, and we'll talk more about that when it comes time. So if everybody out there is ready, let's get started with semifinal number 1 of Season 2's TOC. Let's go ahead and do a quick buzzer check. Jason, thank you. You're on top of it. Scott, thank you. And Brandon. Fantastic. We're ready to play. So here we go. We start with our brown property group and Mediterranean Avenue. This is a $60 property, players. Best of luck. Here comes your first question of the evening. In religion, what is the term given to the appearance of wounds or scars corresponding to those? And that's Scott.
Stigmata.
Stigmata is correct. $60 to you. And you own one of the brown properties. We now move over to Baltic Avenue. This is another $60 property with this question. In mathematics, the sides of a tetrahedron are what shape? And that's Jason.
Square.
No, I'm sorry. It's going to cost you 60. Brandon.
Triangles?
They are triangles. $60 comes over to you. All right, so we've got Brandon owns one property, Scott owns the other, so it will be a showdown between the two of you. Jason, you'll be sitting this one out. Whichever one of you gives me correct answer first will take the combined value of this group, and we will turn that property group your color. So here we go. Here's your showdown question. Who directed the 1960 film Psycho? Scott.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Hitchcock is correct. Well done. You have taken the brown property group. With that comes $120 of combined value, taking you up to $180. We now move over to our light blue properties, and we start with Oriental Avenue. This is a $100 property, players. Everyone's back involved with this question. In which U.S. state would you find Daytona Beach? Scott.
Florida.
Florida is correct. $100 to you. You're up to $280. You have one light blue property. Next up is Vermont Avenue. $100. Next question. Which band's 1977 album Rumors became one of the biggest? And that's Scott.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac is correct. Another $100 to you. You're up to $380. And you have two of the light blue properties. Now we go over to Connecticut Avenue. $120, players, for this question. In which Shakespeare play does the leading man say, age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her? And that is Jason.
Romeo and Juliet.
No, I'm sorry. It's going to cost you $120. I'll complete the question. No, I won't. Brandon.
Macbeth?
No, I'm sorry. It's going to cost you $120 as well. I'll finish the question for you, Scott. In which Shakespeare play does the leading man say, age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety? Is it Antony and Cleopatra, Hamlet, or Romeo and Juliet? Go ahead.
I'll guess Hamlet.
And you guessed incorrect. It's Antony and Cleopatra.
Oh.
All right,
wow,
so
okay.
none of you got that question correct. Means we're going to cut the value in half, $60, until we get a correct answer. Here comes your next one. Who was Oliver Hardy's comedy partner? Scott.
And Laurel.
Stan Laurel is correct. $60 to you for that. You also already now own all three of the light blues, meaning you have the combined value of those of $320, doubles your score up to $640. We now make our turn onto 2nd Street and our magenta properties. This is St. Charles Place. It's a $140 property, players, with this question. According to the nursery rhyme, who met a pieman going to the fair? Brandon.
Simple Simon.
Simple Simon is correct. 140 to you. You're up to 80. You have one magenta. Next up is States Avenue, another $140 with this question. In the animal kingdom, do electric eels actually produce electricity? Brandon.
Yes.
Yes, they do. $140 to you. You're up to 220. You have two magentas. Next up, Virginia Avenue, $160 with this question. In geography, which Central American country lies between Nicaragua and Panama? Jason.
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica is correct. 160 you. You're at negative 20. All right, we're going to have a showdown now between Jason and Brandon. Scott, you'll sit this one out. Jason, I need 2 correct answers from you. Brandon, I only need 1 to take the monopoly. Here comes your first one. What B as in Bob is a name used for a puffed up, back-combed hairstyle worn by men, and that's Jason.
Bob.
No, I'm sorry. I'll finish for you, Brandon. Worn by both men and women.
I'm going to go with
Go ahead.
Beehive.
No, I'm sorry. It's a bouffant. Bouffant.
Ah.
Oh,
Oh.
Bouffant.
All right, here we go. Next one. Vespa and Lambretta are famous manufacturers of what type? And that is Jason.
Motor scooter.
Scooters is correct. That's 1 for you. You need 1 more. Next question. In science, what B as in Bob are tiny organisms ranging in length from 1 to 10 micrometers? Brandon.
Bacteria.
Bacteria is correct, and Brandon, you have taken the magenta property group. With that comes $440 of combined value, taking you up to $660 and the lead. We now move over to our orange properties and St. James Place. This is a $180 property with this question. What type of animal is an addax? Is it an antelope, a horse, or a goat? Jason.
Antelope.
Antelope is correct. 180 to you. You're back in the positive with 160, and you have 1 orange property. Next up is Tennessee Avenue. $180 for this question. Which Hollywood actress starred in the 1933 film She Done Him Wrong based on a play written by her? That would be Mae West. Mae West.
Oh.
All right, we cut the property value in half down to $90. Here's the next question on Tennessee Avenue. In politics, what V is in victory is the name given to an expression of opinion by ballot. And that's Brandon.
Be a vote.
That is a vote. $90 to you. You're up to $750. You have 1 property. Jason has 1. Next up is New York Avenue. $200 here, players, for this question. In classical music, which composer was born in Salzburg and composed Don Giovanni in 1787? Jason.
Mozart.
Mozart is correct. 200 to you. Takes you up to 360. All right, and with that, Jason owns 2 of the orange. Brandon owns 1. So, Scott, you're going to sit this out again. Brandon, I need 2 correct answers. Jason, I only need 1. Here we go with your showdown. In travel, which Scandinavian country is famous for its fjords? Brandon.
Sweden.
No, I'm sorry. Jason.
Norway.
Norway is correct, and you have taken the orange property group With that
It's like
comes
50-50 after you
I
said
sagged
your
when I should have said. Dang it.
comes with $560 of combined value, taking you to 920, and now you are in the lead. As we make our turn onto 3rd Street and our red property group, we start with Kentucky Avenue. $220 players. Here's your first question. Everyone's involved. In literature, complete the title of the 1924 children's classic by A.A. Milne. When we were very... Jason.
Young.
Young is correct. 220 to you. Takes you to 1140. You have one red property. Next up is Indiana Avenue. $220 for this question. In math, what is 63 divided by 7? Scott.
9.
9 is correct. 220 to you. Takes you to 860. One for Jason, one for Scott. We now move over to Illinois Avenue. $240 here for this question. There were 2 opium wars. The first was between China and Britain. The second between Britain and which other country again? And that's Scott.
India?
No, I'm sorry. It's going to cost you 240, taking you to 620. I'll finish the question. The second between Britain and which other country against China? That would be France. France. All right, we're going to cut that property value down in half now, $120 until I get a correct answer. Are birds of prey carnivores or herbivores? Scott.
Carnivores.
Repeat.
Carnivores.
So if you'll say one word in front of it, you're cutting out.
Okay. Carnivore.
All right, yes, there we go. You are correct. $120 to you. You're up to $740. So now, for the first time today, we have a 3-way here for our showdown because each one of you owns a property. I need 2 correct answers. They do not need to be consecutive to take the red Monopoly. So here we go.
Sure,
Excuse me.
that's incorrect. Jason has 2. Scott has 1. I didn't get 1 in the race.
Oh, I do apologize on that. All right, so Jason 2, Scott 1. So then
And
Scott.
That's incorrect. Scott's got the 2. I got the 1.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
eventually
that's
get it
wrong.
correct here. All right, so that I need to do better. All right, so Scott, you need 1 correct answer. Jason, you need 2. Brandon, you will sit this one out. So here we go. In geography, which European capital is home to the ancient Acropolis? Scott.
Athens.
Athens is correct, and you have taken the red property group. With it comes $680 of combined value, taking you up to $1,420, and now you are in the lead. We now move to our yellow property group. We start with Atlantic Avenue. It's worth $260 players. Everyone's involved with this question. Which popular American singer starred in and directed the 1965 film None But the Brave? That would be Frank Sinatra. Sinatra. All right, we cut that property value down in half now. It's $130. Here comes the next question. In food, what B as in Bob is a type of toffee made using butter? Scott.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch is correct. $130 to you. You're up to $1,550. You own 1 yellow property. Next up is Ventnor Avenue. $260 with this question. Traditionally, is Ikebana the Japanese or Chinese art of flower? And that's Scott.
That's Japanese.
Japanese is correct. $260 you up to $1,810. You own 2 yellow properties. Now we go to Marvin Gardens. $280 for this question. What S is in Sam is a cone of calcite rock rising up from the floor of, and that's Brandon.
Stalagmite.
Stalagmite is correct. $280 to you. We're up to $1,030. All right, so now we've got Scott with 2, Brandon with 1. Jason, you will sit out. So Brandon, I need 2 correct answers from you. Scott, I only need 1 for the yellow Monopoly. Here comes your showdown. What A is an apple is the name given to the absence of the sense of pain? Scott.
Cake.
No, I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Brandon?
I don't even have a guess for it.
That would be analgesia. Analgesia.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go for another one. In geography, Beverly Hills is situated within, and that's Scott.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is correct, and you have taken the yellow property group. With that comes $800 of combined value, taking you up to $2,610. We now turn on to 4th Street. Our green property group's up next, and we start with that very specific avenue. It's Pacific Avenue. $300 players for this question. In science, centigrade is the former name of what and that is Scott.
Let's see. Fahrenheit.
No, I'm sorry, it's going to cost you $300. I'll finish the question. No, I won't. Jason.
Celsius.
That is Celsius. $300 over to you, Jason. You're up to $1,440. Now we go to the home of Brandon Scruggs, North Carolina Avenue. We invade. $300 players with this question. What is the traditional Chinese medical technique in which metal needles are inserted? And that's Scott.
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture is correct. $300 to you. You're up to $2,610. One for Jason, one for Scott. We now go to Pennsylvania Avenue. $320 players. Here comes your next question. In religion, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, what C as in Charles is the name given to the admission of sin? Jason.
Confession.
Confession is correct. $320 to you takes you to $1,760. All right, so Brandon, you'll be sitting this one out. Scott, I'm going to need 2 correct answers from you. Jason, I only need 1 for this Monopoly. Here we go. Here is your showdown. In math, an acute angle is an angle between 0 and that's Jason.
90.
90 degrees is correct, and Jason, you have taken the green Monopoly. With that comes $920 of combined value, taking you up to $2,680, and you have regained the lead. Now we go to our final property group. It is our dark blues. We start with Park Place. This is a $350 property. All players are involved. Here's your first question. In the animal kingdom, and let me make sure on this. Okay. What I is an igloo is a large lizard with a spiny crest, and that's Jason.
Iguana.
Iguana is correct. $350 to you takes you to $30.30. And finally, we move over to our largest property and the final one. It is Boardwalk. $400 players. Here is your question. Which Jamaican reggae singer's albums included, and that's Brandon.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley is correct. $400 to you takes you to $14.30, and we are ready for our final showdown between Jason and Brandon. Scott, you'll sit this one out. Whichever one of you 2 players gives me the correct answer will take our final Monopoly here in the acquisition phase. Here comes your showdown question. Which Italian city has been nicknamed the Jewel of the Adriatic and the Bride of the Sea? That's Brandon.
Venice.
Venice is correct, and Brandon, you have taken the dark blue properties. With that comes $750 of combined value, taking you up to $2,180. And that sound means we have completed our acquisition phase of our game. Let's take a look at where we stand. Currently in 3rd place with 2 Monopolies and $2,180 is our green player, Brandon Scruggs. In 2nd place with 4 Monopolies and $2,610 is our gold player, Scott McVay. And currently in 1st place with 2 Monopolies and $3,030 is our red player, Jason Meyers. But we are going to be taking our first commercial break here. While we do, our players are going to be spending some money, making upgrades to their properties, putting on houses and hotels. And when we come back, we are going to play that all-important 15-minute big money round to see who's going to go on to go once around the block and who's going to take that first seat in the championship game right here in your favorite board game that's not a game show. That's right, it's Monopoly. Welcome back here to Monopoly, the first semifinal of Season 2's Tournament of Champions. Man, we have got a hell of a game going on here tonight. During our commercial break, our players went around spending $50 for each house, and then if they were able to build evenly, they could spend an additional $50 for a hotel to put on their property. As you can see, as we like to say, things are pretty close to hoed out here tonight, other than on Broke Street over there on the Brown properties. So, with that, let's take a quick look at where things stand at this point. So we have had a little shuffling of the leaderboard. Our gold player, Scott, has dropped down into third place because of as many hotels as he bought. He's currently at $60. Brandon has jumped up into second place overall, our green player, at $930. And Jason is still in first place at $1,530. And ladies and gentlemen, I do have to say at this time, I regret to inform you that because Jason is playing, that means he is back once again. I do sincerely apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stage, Senior Monopoly himself, Jose Cazares.
Yep, I'm back. To the misfortune of everybody watching.
Yeah, the choker from Red Ochre. So, Jose, yeah, I've got to say we've had quite the game going on here tonight. When we said this was three powerhouses, we meant it, and they have shown off in round one.
And with each of them owning two property groups apiece, it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. But like you said, this big money round is all important.
This is true. And yes, I've got to know. I have got to know. So Jason's losing his shit.
Did you go to the Corey Lawrence School of Accounting?
Wait, apparently.
Because Scott's got more than two.
I said at least two.
I didn't hear at least.
Well, nobody did. I said at least two property groups apiece. There you go.
I think someone needs to clean their ears out.
You shut up, Travis. You've done your job. You be quiet.
That wasn't even Travis. That was Doug.
Travis spoke up first, then Doug.
Hey, this is a property game. Don't make me call the HOA president.
Shit. Okay, let's not escalate to that. Let's just move on.
But yes, we will move on. So yes, right now Jason has 2 monopolies. Brandon has 2 monopolies. Scott has 2 times 2, so he has 4. That's a nice math lesson. Yeah, well, yes. And for those of you not knowing what exactly it is when we talk about Corey Lawrence math, we were once playing a game of Sorry back before Sorry the game show was a thing, and somehow there were some cards pulled to where there was a 1 and a 4, and somehow Corey was able to come up with that being a 3. So yes, that is the Corey Lawrence School of Math. 1 + 4 = 3. Only if it's -4. I guess technically -1, but then, now we're getting into complex stuff, and I'm sure Corey's like, and so...
He can back you up on that, though.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah, I messed that math up as well, but at least it wasn't what Corey said. So, my wife's giving me hell, so we should probably move on with this game before I get something chucked at my head. So, we are, as I said, now off into our 15-minute big money round here, and this is where things get crazy. Of course, we're going to be rolling those loaded dice over there that Senior Monopoly has. We will go around this board as many times as we can, stopping as many of those properties as possible. If we land on one of the players' properties, they will be getting a trivia question. What? Did you say trivia questions? Where did those come from? That's right. We're still asking trivia questions. We will still not be asking odd or even questions here. And Jason, don't be over there fussing about it. So I know how you are about that. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Not really. So, yes, if they get that question correct, they will earn the rent amount for that property based on the number of upgrades that are on said property, which most of them are hotels, so it's going to be worth quite a bit. If they get the question wrong, however, it's no loss of money, but it will become a toss-up question for the other two players. If one of them buzzes in and gets it correct, they're going to steal that rent money, but if they get it wrong, it is going to cost them. But that rent money is not going to go over to the person that owns it. It's just going to kind of fly away and wind up, I don't know, probably somewhere over in the failed Scott Michaels pilot episode. Yeah, no, that was funny. I just came up with that one on the spot. That's how you do comedy, people. You come up with shit on the spot. But yeah, so we've of course got some other really cool properties out there. We've got our utilities, electric company, and waterworks, where we're going to get to have an opportunity to win a big pile of money there. Free parking. It starts off with $500 in it, and it's going to get money added along the way. One of the ways it gets money added on is some of my favorite spaces, Chance and Community Chest, which I'm sure we'll probably hit those plenty tonight.
No.
And I can tell you the cards have been sufficiently shuffled on those, so who knows what we might hit. And, of course, we may always hit those favorite ones, the railroads. And if we hit one of those, that's right, it's going to be hostile takeover time. And Senor Monopoly, if he can still figure out how to add 2 plus 2, we'll tell you more about that when the time comes. And as I said that, my wife said unlikely. So, with that being said... She is an equal opportunity insulter, so.
Well, she's your wife, so.
Yeah. So, with that being said, Mr. Monopoly, do you have those dice ready for us?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, when he gives us that first roll, we'll go ahead and move it. We'll start the 15-minute clock, and we'll get this underway. Here we go.
Big implications. Good luck, gentlemen. Here we go. We start things off with 3 and 4 for us. 7. Uh-oh.
Of course we do. And we have landed on Chance. So let's go ahead and dig out our first Chance card of the night. And it says, advance to the red player's next property. All right, so that means we are going to move over. That may not be the exact right number. I just don't want to go too far. So we are on St. James Place.
Well, Jason, you're going to get the first question of this round. $950 on St. James Place.
All right, Jason, here we go with your question. Let's see, where were we? Let's get back to the right one. In golf, who has competed with the United States in the Ryder Cup since 1979? Is it Great Britain or Europe?
Great Britain.
No, I'm sorry. Toss up. Scott?
Europe.
Europe is correct. $950 to you. Takes you up to 1,010, and we're ready for our next roll.
We have a 3 and a 1 for a 4.
And that takes us to free parking. Tell them about it, senor.
All right, well, players, Turner's going to ask a question. Whoever gets it right gets the money in the jackpot, currently at 500.
All right, players, toss up for all of you. In which decade of the 20th century did the Supreme Court of the United States declare racial segregation in schools illegal? Brandon.
1970s.
No, I'm sorry. Scott.
1950s.
The 1950s is correct, specifically 1954. That means we are going to give you the free parking jackpot of $500. We restock it with another $500, and we also have another roll.
Got some doubles in the mix. The bad news is it's double 5s for a 10. Damn it. What am I doing?
And that means, players, you are going to jail. You're going to pay $50 each into the free parking jackpot, moving it up to $650. And Senor Monopoly is going to have a better roll this time.
So I'm not going to be doing this again anytime soon. 4 and a 5 for a 9.
And that takes us to New York Avenue.
Jason, another chance here. $1,000 on New York Avenue.
Jason, in nature, what is a male fox called?
A dingo.
No, sorry, toss up. And that's Brandon. It was in time.
Is it a Todd?
No, I'm sorry, and that's going to cost you $1,000. Scott, you want a shot?
Not touching this one.
Well, interestingly enough, they're called a dog. A dog fox. Yeah.
Oh,
All right, so
okay.
Interesting.
nothing else doing there. Next roll.
A male fox, a dingo. Wow. 2 and a 6 for an 8.
And that takes us to Ventnor Avenue.
All right, Scott, chance for you to take the lead. 1150 on Ventnor Avenue.
All right, Scott. In religion, would a mezuzah be attached to the doorpost of the house as a sign of faith? Oh, excuse me. Let me reread that. In which religion would a mezuzah be attached to the doorpost of the house as a sign of faith?
Okay, which religion? Judaism.
Judaism is correct. Apologize for that misspeak there. 2610 is what you're up to. Next roll.
4 and 5 for a 9.
Ah, looky there.
Oh, son of a
Look what I
bitch.
found. It's
Oh no.
It's chance, and this next chance card says advance to Oriental Avenue. All right, so we are going to pass go on that one. I was one off there, so players will be collecting their $200 of, as my mother calls it, go pass money. All right, so we have landed on Oriental Avenue.
So, all right, Scott, another chance to add on to your lead here. $550 on Oriental Avenue.
All right, Scott, complete the title of this James Bond film, The Spy Who
Loved me.
Loved Me is correct. $550 to you. You're up to $33.60. I was glad you didn't say shagged me. All right, next roll.
Oh, that's Austin Powers.
Yeah, no.
Big roll. 5 and a 6 for an 11.
And that takes us to
Jesus,
Community
Jesus, oh my
Chest.
God!
Oh no.
All right.
Hey,
Our first Community Chest card tonight says advance directly to go. All right. The place that Scruggs hate, go.
I don't hate the place. I hate the game, sir.
All right, so that is, we'll call it pass and go, $200 for each player, and we have another roll. We're under 10 minutes.
Ooh, a 2 and a 1 for a 3.
And that's Baltic Avenue.
It's Scott 450 on no, 3 houses. Oops, 270 on Baltic Avenue. I gotta pay attention.
It's okay. We're used to everything being hoed out. All right, Scott, here is your question. In medicine, are amino acids the building blocks of proteins or vitamins?
Proteins.
Proteins is correct. 270 to you takes you to 38.30. Next roll.
I got some doubles. Got a pair of 4s for an 8.
And we've landed on St. Charles Place.
All right, boss man. Finally, we land on one of yours. $750 at stake on St. Charles Place.
Brandon, in mammals, what C as in Charles are the teeth found between the incisors and premolars?
Those would be the cuspids.
No, I'm sorry. Toss up. Jason.
canines.
They're the canines. All right, $750 you, Jason. You're up to $26.30. Next roll.
Doubles again. And we've got a pair of 2s for a 4.
And that's Pennsylvania Railroad.
It was only a matter of time, players. It's hostile takeover time. Turd's going to ask a question. If you get it right, you got a chance to steal a property group from someone. Good luck.
All right, everyone, hands on buzzers. Here we go. What was the name given to unlicensed radio stations such as Radio London and Radio Caroline? Scott.
Pirate radio.
Pirate Radio is correct. So, Scott, you're now going to choose one of the Monopoly groups from Jason or Brandon you would like to attack. Remember, there is money at stake.
Yes. Let's try Jason's Orange Properties.
Jason's Orange, so we don't have to go far. So we start with St. James. $950 at risk. I'm going to need 3 correct answers. Your first one here, you're risking $950. So here we go. Here comes your first question. What C is in Charles is a crushed grain product often served steamed with North African dishes.
Couscous.
Couscous is correct. All right, we now move up to Tennessee Avenue. Once again, $950 at risk. In the game of chess, how many squares can a king move at any one time?
1.
1 is correct. Now we're at New York Avenue. $1,000 at risk here. Get this one correct, you will have a successful hostile takeover, and you will get the combined value of these properties, and they will turn your color. What C is in Charles is the name given to a regulation requiring a person to be indoors by a certain hour of the night.
Curfew.
Curfew is correct, and you have stolen the orange property group from Jason. That gives you $560 of combined value, taking you up to $4,390, and this hostile takeover was successful. Next roll, please.
Double streak is over. We have a 3 and a 1 for a 4.
And that is Indiana Avenue.
All right, Scott, you got another chance to pad out that lead. 1,050 on Indiana Avenue.
All right, Scott. In the animal kingdom, by what name is the species Felis catus commonly known?
Cat.
Cat is correct. 1,050 to you. You're up to 5,440. Next roll.
We got a 6 and a 2 for an 8.
Sometimes it's just that easy. All right, Pacific Avenue.
All right, Jason, with one of your property groups stolen, this is an opportunity to try to get yourself into the game. 1275 on Pacific.
Jason, which brave teenager went to school at Sunnydale High in an American TV series which shares her name? Sorry, time's up. Toss up. Scott.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer is correct. 1275 to you. You're up to 6715. Next roll. We're under 5 minutes.
Doing a 4 for a 6.
And that takes us to Park Place.
All right, Brandon, a chance for you to get into the game here. A big $1,500 up for grabs on Park Place.
Brandon, the city of Montgomery is the capital of which U.S. state which is situated on the Gulf of Mexico?
Oh, please, you better not miss this. Alabama.
Alabama is correct. 1,500 to you. You're up to 1,780. Next roll.
Back on the doubles train. We got a pair of 4s for an 8.
All right, we have passed go, so we're going to collect $200, and we're on the Reading Railroad.
Another hostile takeover opportunity, players. You know the drill. Good luck. Here comes your question.
All right, players. In the human body, how many pairs of ribs are there? Jason.
12.
12's correct. All right, where would you like to attack?
Light blue.
Light blue. All right, so we're going to take a step forward. Remember, money at risk here. $550 on this question. Which 1961 Disney animated film features the characters Pongo and Perdita?
Lady and a Tramp.
No, I'm sorry. It's 101 Dalmatians. I'm sorry. That's going to cost you $550. We will send that over to its owner, Scott. And that means this hostile takeover was unsuccessful. All right, we're under 3 minutes left. Next roll, please.
1 and a 4 for a 5.
And this is St. Charles Place.
All right, Brandon, chance for you to try to get to second place here, proverbially. 750 for grabs on St. Charles once again.
All right, Brandon, your question. What type of bird eats the eggs and young of other birds and is thought to bring bad luck?
Is it the Raven?
No, I'm sorry. Toss up. Jason.
Crow.
No, sorry, and that's going to cost you $750. Scott, you want a shot?
No, thank you.
That'd be the Magpie.
Ah.
All right. Next roll, and we're coming up on 2 minutes.
2 and a 3 for a 5.
St. James Place.
Chance to pad out the lead for you, Scott. 950 on St. James.
All right, Scott. In English law, what does a coroner investigate as the main part of his job?
Dead bodies.
Death. Yes, we will give you that. Death is correct. 84.15 is where you are. Next roll.
2 and a 3 for a 5 again.
Kentucky Avenue. Don't know what that was about.
1050 at stake for you on Kentucky Avenue, Scott.
All right, Scott. What, according to the Greek mathematician Euclid, is the shortest distance between 2 points?
A line.
I need you to be more specific.
Oh, a straight line.
A straight line is correct because you can have different types of lines. So correct. 1,050 to you here. 94.65. We're under a minute left. Next roll.
6 and a 3 for a 9.
And that's going to send us to jail. That's 150 from each of you. 150 total over into the free parking jackpot. Up to 800. Next roll.
3 and a 5 for an 8.
And that'll land us on Tennessee Avenue.
$950 at stake for you on Tennessee. Scott?
All right, Scott. In theater was the first complete edition of Shakespeare's plays called the first folio or the first quattro?
Sounds like the first folio.
First folio is correct. 950 to you. You're up to 10,365. Next roll.
6 and a 1 for a 7.
And
Oh my
it's
goodness.
B&O Railroad.
Another hostile takeover, players.
All right,
And
so
with that
players,
sound,
yeah, that sound means this will be the final turn that we go through, but we will complete the hostile takeover since it has already begun. So here is a chance to take some money. Let's see what happens. Players, hands on buzzers. In pop music, during the 1970s, who used the persona Ziggy Stardust? Scott.
David Bowie.
David Bowie is correct. Which property group would you like to attack?
Magenta.
All right, the magenta. So we're going to back that ass up, as Jason would normally say. Whoops, one too many. All right, so we're going to start with St. Charles Place. So you're attacking Brandon's property group here. So this one is going to be a $750 risk. So here we go with the first question. What nationality is the heart transplant pioneer Christian Bernard?
God, I'm trying to remember who this was. Was he Polish?
No, he was not. He was South African. So that means you are going to
Okay.
lose $750. We will pass that over to the owner, Brandon Scruggs. And we are now, that hostile takeover is unsuccessful, and we have come to the end of the round. Let's look at where we stand. Right now in third place is our red player, Jason Meyers, at $1,480. In second place is our green player, Brandon Scruggs, at $2,680. And in first place is our gold player, running away with it, Scott McVay, with $9,615. This is where we'll take our final commercial break. We're going to sell back all of those upgrades. And when we come back, we're going to find out what we pretty much already know. Who's going to be moving on to the championship game and who's going to have the opportunity to go once around the block to add some extra money to their total right here on Monopoly. All right, everybody, welcome back here to Monopoly. I know things are probably feeling a little anticlimactic, but hey, we do things the right way around here. Kind of like asking trivia questions. Yeah.
What, really?
So, yep. Not looking at anybody in particular. But with that, let's go ahead and get to this, the formalities of it all. We will start with the player that was in third place coming out of that round. He was our number 2 seed, Jason Meyers. He had $1,480. When we sold back what he had left, he was able to net an additional $750, which means tonight he finishes with $2,230. Next up, we had our green player, Brandon Scruggs. He had $2,680 coming out of that last round. When we sell back all of the upgrades he had, he was able to net an additional $1,250, and we add that into his total. He finishes tonight with $3,930. And finally, the player that really kind of dominated that second round there, Sephy McVay. He came to the end of that last round at $9,615. When we sell back all of the upgrades that he either had or was able to pick up in that last round, he was able to net an additional $3,300. And when we add that to his total, he finishes tonight with $12,915. Scott McVay, you're moving on to the championship game of Monopoly.
Thank you, sir. And by the way, great game you got to do both, okay?
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk to our other players here first. Of course, we are going to start with our red player, Jason Meyers. Jason, man, you came into this thing. You were the number 2 overall seed, and I know we were talking a little backstage, and you mentioned about how you got to choose your opponents, and maybe you were kind of second-guessing yourself. So, yeah, go ahead and kind of tell now the studio audience kind of where are you thinking now that your season has come to an end?
I should have just reached into a hat and pulled names. No. I have no regrets over who I chose. Who I chose is who I chose. And I knew they were going to bring their A game. I tried to bring mine. And at some point during the second round, my mind just went.
Yes.
In fact, if you look at the far end of the studio, it's still flying around in a fart circle.
You know, sometimes that happens. But yeah, hey, you.
The dingo ate your baby.
But hey, you had a great season here at the end of the day. So here's what we're going to do right now. Of course, you had in the regular season $85,946. Tonight you were able to get $2,230. We're going to multiply that for you making into the semifinals by 5, meaning tonight you're going to walk out with an additional $11,150, meaning for this season you're getting out of here with $97,096. That's got to be at least some consolation.
That'll help pay off my car, and then I get to drown my sorrows in moonshine.
Moonshine and Mexican pizzas, right?
You're damn right.
Well, here's the good news for you. You're going to be back again for the next 3 episodes, not because I'm giving you another chance, but because you will take your rifle spot as Mr. Monopoly back. So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see him again, but make sure, give it up there. Great player, Mr. Jason Meyers.
Thank you, and GG's to both of you.
And hey, we will definitely see you in season 3 coming up in the fall. But next up, we go over to our second place player tonight, Mr. Brandon Scruggs. Brandon, you were able to get $3,930. Tell me at the end of the day, how do you feel about your gameplay? And did you think that second was where you would wind up at the end of the day?
I'll be honest with you. I'm actually very proud of my gameplay today. I felt like I was actually doing well up until like maybe the very last part of the big money round, where I had dumb moments where my mouse spoke faster than my brain could keep up with. So it happens. But genuinely, I didn't expect to be finishing second tonight because I know how good of a trivia players both Jason and Scott are. So I figured it was going to be a battle of the buzzer. If I could fight them through that, I might have had a chance. But yeah, wasn't happening tonight. But again, very happy to have at least been in a tournament of champions here, played against 2 great competitors, and I can say I actually had fun with this one, even though it's stressing out. But again, it's the nature of the game as it is, you know.
Hey, that is very true. It is the nature of the game. But hopefully you had a good time playing with us here this season.
I did.
And hey, that's very good to hear. I know I was looking back before we actually started tonight's game, and in season 1 you finished over on 14th place. This season you're up into 8th. So who knows, come next year you might crack the top 3.
That would be nice, but again, I have to get more chances to come and play. So we'll see how the scheduling allows, given that I'm trying to keep the network up and running here at times. So.
And then I know that's hard, but yeah, so as we did with Jason, since you made it to the semifinals but did not win the game, we're going to take your winnings tonight and multiply those by 5. So that's going to become tonight $19,650. And when we add that on with your winnings on the season, you're going to walk away with $57,735. That's a nice little piece of cash.
That is a very nice chunk of change, and I will spend it wisely on paying off somebody else's show winnings here, more than likely.
Right? So, yeah. All right, everybody. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you back again in Season 3, as we said, coming up in the fall. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure, please give it up there for Brandon Scruggs. Hell of a player and a hell of a leader. So, good job to you. And now we come over to the man of the, let's see, this is officially been running for an hour and 22 minutes at this point. So the man of the hour and 22 minutes, Sephy McVay, you've done it, $12,915. I know that you're feeling good right now.
Yeah, I'm actually, first of all, I'm actually surprised I did as well as I did tonight, for one reason that, again, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, that Jason and Brandon both are great players, though. Maybe I was just a little luckier in getting into the buzzer at the right time. There we go.
Well, and as you said, you are a wickedly smart man. I know there's many of times I've had to mute myself in the background on shows I've played you against, just cussing up a blue storm because I'm like, how does he know all this? But yeah, you are a very wise man. So here's the good news for you, 12-9-15. As the winner of this game, we're going to multiply your winnings by 10, meaning so far tonight, you are going to walk away with an additional $129,150. But,
ooh, wow.
but your night's not over, sir, because if you want, and I know you do and I know everybody else wants you to, we still need to go once around the block.
Let's do it.
All right, so we are on the once around the block stage now. So here is how this bonus game works, especially for those of you out there that have not seen this happen before. We are going to give Scott 5 rolls to try to make his way all the way around the board one complete time. Now, if he ever rolls doubles, we will give him an additional roll to help him on his journey. But we're not going to make things too easy. You see up in the upper right-hand corner that go to jail space? We're going to add 4 more of those onto the board to make his journey a little bit harder. So, you've got to put 1 on 2nd Street, 1 on 3rd Street, and 2 more on 4th Street. So if you would, go ahead and give me your 1 on 2nd Street. That'll be between St. Charles Place and New York Avenue.
I'm thinking, since I want to get a guaranteed good first roll, States Avenue.
All right, States. We're on 3rd Street. We're going to be between Kentucky Avenue and Marvin Gardens.
And for some reason, I want to avoid the B&O Railroad, so we'll put it on that.
Okay. And then we need 2 between Pacific Avenue and Boardwalk on 4th Street.
And I think I'm going to try 1 on Pacific, and then the most common of all lovers, the luxury tax.
The luxury tax. All right, so, of course, as you go around, normally it's $100 for every space that you're able to make it around the board. If you use up all of your rolls, then you will, of course, take any money that is in that center pot, as long as you don't hit a go to jail, because at any point if you do, all that money in the center goes away, and you'll only walk away with what you've already got. Now, we're going to do things a little different here with this being a semifinal game. Everything's going to get doubled. So, every spot now will not show up on the board this way just because of the limitations of the software. So it's going to wind up being $200 for every space that you make it around the board. Again, you'll see it in $100 increments, but just know that it will get doubled. Also meaning, if you make it all the way around the board and pass go, instead of $25,000, it'll be $50,000. And if you somehow can be the second person ever to do it and land exactly on go, we will raise that up to $100,000. So, with that, if you're ready, we've got Senor Monopoly over there. He's got the rock and roller all fired up for you. Let's do this. Let's go once around the block. Whenever you're ready, you tell him when to stop.
All right, sounds like a plan. Let's get some doubles for lots of rolls. Now.
Big roll to start. 5 and a 6 for an 11.
Ooh, wow, yes.
All right, we'll take a roll away. So there's 1,100 in the middle. That means we've doubled it up to $2,200. So you can take that money and walk away, or go another roll with 4 rolls remaining. What would you like? What's your pleasure?
Okay, considering that I'm doing the math here, the only bad roll I have is a snake eyes. I'm going for it.
That is correct. Only bad roll is that 2. So he's going to go for it. Fire that rock and roller back up there, Senor Monopoly. When you're ready, tell him when to stop.
All right, and now.
You're safe from that first go to jail space. A 5 and a 3 for an 8.
All right, we add that into the center. That $1,900 again is doubled up to $3,800. You've got 3 rolls remaining, but now we need to take a hard look at this because we've got multiple bad rolls. A 6,
Yes.
an 11, and a 12 will all knock you out of this game. So if you're feeling lucky enough, you can continue on 3 rolls. You're on a good pace right now. Continue on or walk away with $3,800.
I have a good feeling about this, though. And even though there are 3 bad rolls, I'm going to risk it, and let's keep going.
All right, he's going to keep going. Fire up that rock and roller there, Senor Monopoly. Sephy, tell him when to stop.
Okay, no 6, no 11, no 12. Let's go now.
Oh, 2 and a 3 for a 5.
Okay.
Oh, very close. All right, so we add that in there. That $2,400 becomes $4,800. All right, so you have eliminated the one right there next to you. You've got 2 rolls remaining. Your bad rolls, 6 and a 7. Those are high frequency rolls there. You've got to really think hard now. 2 rolls left. Continue on or stop here.
I actually still think I can make it past that without a 6 or a 7. I'll roll.
All right, he's going to continue on. Fire that rock and roller up again there, senor.
Okay.
And tell him when to stop.
Okay, again, no 6, no 7. Now.
1 and a 2 for a 3.
All right, we add that in there. That $2,700 again, we multiply it. It's now $5,400 we would add to your total. So we look at the bad rolls. There's a 3. There's a 4. And I believe 11 if I counted correctly. So 3, 4, and 11. You've got 1 roll. So you're not going to make it all the way to go without a double. But you could add more money. So that last roll, what do you do?
I have a good feeling about this. Like I said, I did good when I had 3 bad rolls before. I'm going to do one last try and see if I can get at least a little more money.
All right, on we go. Senor Monopoly, fire that rock and roller up. We're going to hope we do not see a 3, 4, 11 here. Tell him when to stop.
All right, please give me something in between. Or even better yet, give me a double so I still have a chance for the big money. Now.
A 6 and a 5 for an 11.
No.
Oh. Officer Bo Brady has come and got another victim. What is going on here? Oh,
So close, darn it.
man, I am so sorry there. Man,
Hey, that's okay, though.
that just, man, that hurts. That
It
hurts.
does, but that's okay.
I mean, hey, yeah, that is true. You know, good. I mean, you made a good run at it. You know, what can I say? You made a good run at it. So, I mean, what are you feeling at this point, though? Like,
Well, even though I don't have another 10 or so thousand, but another $7 or so $1,000, I'm still definitely a finalist in this tournament, and I am going to see how the rest of the semifinals will go here. So I'll be ready for my A game in about a few weeks.
well, hey, and that is definitely good to hear there. So, here is the good news. when we take that money you were able to win tonight, that $129,150, right now in this moment, not only do you have that seat in the championship game, but you are up now for the season to $171,792. That is not a bad few days' work.
I agree with that, Mr. Ferguson. I agree.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have done it once again, and Senor Monopoly, you have done it once again. You didn't screw up too bad here. So, man, we had a heck of a game here tonight. Although, if you look at the numbers there at the end of that big money round, it looks like the whole thing was just a blowout, but it really wasn't.
Oh, anything and everything could have happened in that round. It was just Sephy's luck with those hostile takeovers that ultimately proved to give him the victory.
And hey, that is true. And, you know, I'm sure that you're probably feeling a little sad at the moment, believe it or not, because, of course, with Jason losing tonight, that means tonight is the last time that we will see you on the stage as Senor Monopoly. So, do you have any parting words?
Well, for one, I don't feel sad because, let's just be honest. Nobody wants to see me as Senor Monopoly. Am I right?
I mean, hey, I don't think that they hated you.
Wrong.
I'm just messing with you. But in a way, it's a little bittersweet, but at the same time, Jason, let the seat warm for you for next week. It's all yours next time.
I'm sure that he's just glad it's not sticky.
I'm not worried about whether the seat's warm, just whether it's cleaned up.
Well, you know, and
Sir, you gotta be careful about
the hell out of it with Lysol, so you're good.
as some wise people say, it's not sad that it's over. It's happy that it even happened to start with. So I will say, as much crap as we give you, we definitely thank you, Jose, for filling in. You did so very admirably. You did a good job. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to give it up there for Jose Cosrez. We definitely give him crap, but hey, he's one of us, and we wouldn't deny him at least not more than 3 times. Let's see how well that joke goes over in the comments. But yeah, man. We've had a great season here so far. We've got our first finalist that's going to find his way onto the virtual set here in just 3 weeks' time, and that's right. I know Mutzer is over there. He's probably done creamed his pants 10 times since we've said it originally. That yes, we will be in the virtual reality set, coming to you live from VR Chat just 3 weeks from now for the championship game of Season 2 of Monopoly. Make sure you tune in next Monday night as we see our second semifinal between Scott Michaels, our announcer Travis Coulter, and Peach Buns. That one is going to be another one that you do not want to miss. As always, make sure that you subscribe to the channel here if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, I'm probably going to have some questions for you afterwards and ask you why the hell haven't you subscribed? Because this has to be one of the best channels on all of YouTube. And it's most certainly the best channel that has game show content on it for you. And hey, game shows, if you're here, you're seeing it, I know you want to be a part of it because it's what drew me in. So make sure, go to the Facebook page, check things out there. You can find out about the things that we do that you don't ever even get to see come out here live or on demand. And you can also make yourself part of this group as well. All you got to do, answer a couple of simple little questions. If you're a game show fan, you're going to know the answers to it. Trust me. It's not 1 + 2, because if so, Corey probably would have never made it into the group. But if you like game shows, you should know the answer to them. But, of course, make sure, give us a like on this video. You can send us comments in there, good, bad, ugly. We don't care. We want to know what you think because, of course, as I mentioned, Monopoly will come back for a 3rd season. We want to know what you like, what you dislike, what changes we could make. going into the next season. And again, who knows? You heard Brandon mention someday he might host this as well, and I'm sure he would love your feedback as well on that. And of course, make sure you ring that bell for notifications so you know when the next live stream's coming up, because we've got lots of games going on here, whether it's a live stream, whether it's on-demand content. Brandon's constantly putting out content, and that number keeps climbing. And of course, as you know, the 2024 Game Show Marathon that Brandon mentioned to you earlier, coming at the beginning of July, and trust me, I was involved in it. You don't want to miss it. It is 7 nights that everyone that loves MVG Productions and Game Show in general, that they look forward to seeing. So make sure that you ring that bell so that you can see when those videos go live on the channel. But until we come back again for our second semifinal to see who will go on to the championship game in this season's Tournament of Champions, he was Jose Cazares, I'm Turd Ferguson, and you sure as hell aren't. We'll see you back here next Monday night for semifinal number 2 of Monopoly. Until then, take care and good night.